So I'm gonna have you start on your back today, and I actually want you to have your knees bent and your feet are going to be about hip distance apart. Arms will be down by your sides. Just allow the palms to face up towards the ceiling here. And then we'll start with those three sighs. So 3 times, just breathing in through the nose, open the mouth, sigh out through the mouth. Take your time with the 3 sighs. There's no rush. And after you do take them, go ahead and start just breathing in and out through the nose. So if you're familiar with Ujjayi breathing, you are welcome to engage that at any point in time, maintain that for as long as you wish. And just a reminder, that's when you have that very slight constriction in the back of the throat, so that when you breathe in and out, you can hear the breath moving up and down the throat. And then this next part, you can keep your eyes closed. If you want to open your eyes, you can open your eyes. It's completely up to you. We're just going to start out with some pelvic tilts here. So keeping your knees bent, feet hip distance apart, arms by your side. You're going to almost as if you're doing a cat cow with the pelvis on your back. So as you exhale, pull the lower abdominals in, transverse abdominis. Let your tailbone move up a little bit, almost as if it's moving towards your heels and scooping up. And then when you inhale, you're going to press the tailbone down. Let the front hip points of the pelvis lift and come forward. The low back will come away from the mat. And then just moving back and forth. Very gentle, very slow movement. And of course, incorporating breath. So inhaling as the lower back comes off the mat. Exhaling as the lower back presses down into the mat. And also, as you're doing this, if you can almost imagine your pelvis like a clock. Okay. Think of the top of the pelvis, almost near the belly button, that being 12 o'clock, and the tailbone being 6 o'clock. And then become aware of those 2 hip points. You're still moving through this really gentle pelvic tilt, but those 2 hip points on the sides, those being 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Good. The next time that you exhale and you move the pelvis towards 12 o'clock, you're going to start to roll the pelvis in a clockwise direction, right? So you go 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, pressing that side of the pelvis down, 6 o'clock, tailbone presses down, 9 o'clock, the other side of the pelvis presses down, 12 o'clock, back to that lower abdominals pressing down. And then you just start to flow through that. It can be really slow. You don't have to rush through this. Actually, the slower you go, uh, the more intentional you are. You're also going to notice that you get a little bit better range of motion going through this slowly. If you want to incorporate breath, right? You're inhaling as you go from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. You're exhaling as you go from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And then now, once you reach 12 o'clock, you're going to reverse it, go counterclockwise. So now you're exhaling and inhaling just in the opposite direction. So 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock is an inhale. 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock is an exhale. Right? Your knees are going to move a little. They're going to sway a little as you're moving. That's okay. Let it happen. Very good. Now go ahead and see, can you find neutral? Right? So you're not arching the back, you're not pressing the back down necessarily, but you're just nice and neutral. There's a slight curve in the low back and the lumbar spine here. You're going to flex your feet, keep your heels down, but let your toes and the balls of the feet lift up, and a little bit of windshield wiper here. So you can maybe start out kind of slow with this, not really allowing the movement to be super big, and just test out, how does that feel in your low back? If it feels okay, if you want to deepen that twist some, then of course you can start to allow the knees to drop closer towards the floor. And also, if you're wanting to incorporate your breath, you are inhaling as you come up, you're exhaling as the knees drop to the side. All right, go ahead and go to one more side here. And then you're going to come back up to center, let the toes fall back down towards the mat. I want you to keep your left knee bent here. You're just going to take a few heel slides. So your right heel is going to slide down the mat until the leg is straight, flex the foot. And then you're going to bring the heel back in and let the knee bend. So as you're doing this, come back into that kind of 12 o'clock position in the pelvis. Think of your tailbone scooping towards the heels, lower abdominals engaged, transverse abdominis. What that does is that helps protect the low back. Good. Let's do one more heel slide here. And then you'll come back to both knees bent and we'll go to the other side. So check that pelvis again. Make sure the low back is pressing down. And then you're going to slide that left heel away. Let the leg straighten. Foot is flexed. And then you're going to slide that heel back in. So certainly just the simple motion of straightening and bending this leg is strengthening your abdominals a bit. But the real work is keeping that pelvic tilt. It's called a posterior pelvic tilt. So you're continuing to think, especially as the leg straightens, about drawing the tailbone towards the heels. And last one here. Very nice. Now you're going to come back to the right side. Go ahead and straighten that leg. But this time when you bend the knee, you're going to lift the leg up into the air, bring the knee in towards the chest, bring the foot back down, straighten the leg. So it's like you're making a big circle here. It's fluid, right? If it feels uncomfortable, make your circle a little smaller. Maybe you don't bring the knee all the way into the chest. Maybe your leg doesn't straighten all the way out. Lots of ways to modify this. But continuing to really focus on that pelvic tilt. Good. Let's do one more circle. And then you'll place that right foot down. We're going to do same thing other side, of course. So straighten the left leg. You're going to bend that knee, but the knee is going to lift up into the air, bring it in towards the chest. Place the foot back down, straighten the leg. Beautiful. One more. And then place that left foot back down onto the mat. Come into neutral pelvis now. So instead of pressing the low back down, you're coming back into that neutral pelvis. The low back is coming just a little bit off of the mat. Reach your arms out to the sides and then turn your palms up towards the ceiling. So it's like you're a letter T in the upper body. And I want you just to reach out through the fingertips. Really reach. Like if you could touch the wall on the other side of the room on both arms, that's how much you're reaching. And you should feel a pretty decent stretch occurring in the arms. I always feel it around my inner elbow, a little in the chest. And then you're going to take a big inhale, sigh, and relax the arms completely. Beautiful. We're going to do that again. So reach out, extend through the fingertips, like someone's pulling your hand towards the other side of the room. Take a big inhale, sigh, and relax. Awesome. 3 is the magic number. Reach out one last time here. Reach, 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 extend, sigh, let it go. Beautiful. Bend your elbows. Okay. Palms are still facing towards the ceiling. You're kind of like in a field goal position with the arms right now. As you inhale, slide the arms up above the head as much as they go comfortably. As you exhale, just bring them back to that starting position. So it's a small movement. We're not moving a great deal here, but you'll start to feel a little bit more of a stretch, front of the shoulder, front of the chest, and you just go to where it's comfortable. Right? If your fingers don't touch, they don't touch. It's okay. Let's do just one more. Very nice. Bring both knees in towards the chest. Grab the legs with the hands, with the arms. Squeeze it in as tight as you want to, and just rock a little side to side here. So letting the hips move side to side. Maybe allowing part of the back to lift up. And then now letting those knees kind of roll in a circle. You might grab the kneecaps with your hands. You might make this a little more challenging and place the hands on the floor. Palms are going to face down. If you want your circle to be a little bit bigger, that's going to add more challenge onto the abs. So that's totally up to you. This is also nice because it's like a little massage for the low back. Think about that clock. And then reverse the other direction. Lovely. All right. Place those feet back down to the floor. They are still hip distance apart. Knees are still bent. Arms are going to come straight down by the sides right now, palms facing the floor. And we're just going to do a little bit of dynamic bridge. So you can lift your hips up only as far as is comfortable for you. But when you start dynamic bridge, you want to come into that posterior pelvic tilt. So I would spend a lot of time on that already. So tailbone is reaching towards the heels, maybe up towards the knees just a little bit. The low back is flat. And you're going to press the feet down and then just start to lift your hips up. And then you're going to slowly roll it all the way back down. Keep that pelvic tilt. As you inhale, hips are going to lift up. As you exhale, hips are going to draw back down. Keep pressing through the heels. It's going to give you a lot of engagement in the glutes. And if your tailbone continues to reach forward, like a forward and up, then you'll start to feel some engagement also in the hamstrings, the back of the thighs. Good. Now, the next time that you come up, stay there. Draw that tailbone towards the knees a little bit more, but now I want you to take your heels, and they're not actually going to move, but you're drawing them towards your pelvis, towards your glutes, towards your back, however you get that message. And you should feel the hamstrings and the glutes engage a lot more. Staying here. You don't have to be very high to feel this. Breathe, breathe, breathe. This is more of a, instead of being a chest bridge, right, where it's a big chest stretch, this is more of a strengthening bridge where we're strengthening our legs. Very nice. Slowly roll it all the way back down. One last time here, just a couple windshield wiper of the legs side to side. Beautiful. So if you want to roll it up, you can. If rolling is not in the practice today for you, you're just going to roll to the side and push yourself up to sit. Otherwise, you can grab around your shins. Some people feel better grabbing behind their thighs. You're going to lift your head up and you're just going to kind of roll a little bit. You can do this and try not to let your feet touch the floor. So they do this a lot in Pilates, right? We do it in yoga too. Let's do one more roll if you're doing this kind of spinal rock. And then you're going to come all the way up to a cross-legged position, sitting up. Very nice. Awesome. All righty. So flex your feet. Make sure that both your calves are supported by the feet beneath them. And then notice, those of you, you guys take my class all the time, the default, right? So what is your position? What's your posture like right now before I really said to do anything? Are you leaning forward? Are you slouching? Are you leaning back? Right. So just observe that. And then come to the center of the sits bones, lift the chest up nice and high, roll those shoulders back. Very good. Right hand's coming down to the floor. Left arm's going to reach out to the side. And you're going to lift that left arm. So maybe it comes out kind of parallel to the floor. Maybe it lifts up. Maybe you walk your right hand out a little bit, bend the elbow, and extend that arm over. Right? So especially if you're leaning over, you're pressing that right hand down to get the left hip towards the floor. And then you're going to just lift it all the way back up, come to the other side. The right arm might be outside here, might reach up towards the ceiling, or you might walk that left hand away from the body. Press the hand down to keep the hips down as well, and then just reach the fingertips. Very nice. Bring it all the way back up to center. Walk your hands forward. And maybe the forearms come down. Maybe the elbows come down. Maybe you let the back round and the head drop. So anytime you're in any kind of a forward fold, when you let your head drop, you find that the stretch deepens in the back. If you're standing up, it's going to deepen in the legs. And so just noticing if you drop your head, do you get a better stretch? Do you like that stretch? If it's too much, you let the head lift up. Good. Slowly walk yourself all the way back up. Find neutral. So not default, but find neutral. Chest nice and high. We're coming into a twist. Reach the arms up. As you exhale, twist to the right. Right hand's coming behind you, left hand to that knee. And you just assess, how deep do I want to twist? Okay. So keep the shoulders down. Let the chest lift up. Relax through the neck as much as possible. Breathe. As you exhale, bring it all the way back to center. Very good. Lift the arms up on an inhalation. On an exhalation, yep, twist to the other side. Good. So I want you again, think of chest coming up. Yep. Relax that front shoulder. It wants to come up. Don't let it. Relax the back shoulder and breathe. Breathe deep. Awesome sauce. All righty. Bring it all the way back to center. And then we're coming into that bound angle before we come to our tabletop in a moment. So bound angle, right? Soles of the feet are together. If this is hard, bring your feet out a little bit. Okay. You can sit on a bolster. You can sit on a pillow, especially if it feels tight in the front of the hips. That's an option for you, just to lift your hips a little bit higher. And then you're going to press the feet together. Try to let those knees drop any amount. Let the chest lift nice and high. It's an inner thigh stretch. Of course, it's a hip stretch. And just breathe here. Right. See if you're still engaging that ujjayi breath, and if you're not, maybe you start to. I like to do the ujjayi breath a lot when we're just kind of holding a pose because it gives my brain something to focus on other than the stretch. Saw that smile. Very nice. All right. So just let those knees come together. We're coming to tabletop now. So hands and knees. Right. You want your knees hip distance apart. You want your hands underneath your shoulders. Spread the fingertips nice and wide. Okay. So a lot of times when people are doing yoga, they complain about the wrists hurting. Okay. Press the fingertips down, press the knuckles down, and spread the force out so it's not all on the wrist. We're just going through cat cows. So exhale, you're rounding that back, dropping the head. Inhaling, you're arching the back, lifting the tailbone, lifting the head. And you're just moving your breath, your pace. Good. You can even incorporate, if you're a visual person, that clock again, right? Moving that pelvis between 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Good. Bring yourself back to neutral. And now we're doing a side to side cat cow. So what you're going to do, you're going to exhale, bring your right shoulder and your right hip, squeeze them towards each other so you get a stretch on the left side. And then you inhale, you come back to center, you exhale, squeeze the left hip and left shoulder towards each other, get a stretch to the right side. Of course, back to center, your breath, your pace here. Right? Some people like to kind of turn their head and look over their back foot on the side that they're crunching. Now you're going to roll your torso in circles. So those of you who both actually take the chair yoga class, right? Think of this being barrel rolls, but on your hands and knees. And then you're going to reverse that. Let's go the other direction. Right, hips come along for the ride, but try to let most of the movement be in the rib cage. Beautiful. Come back to center. You are going to walk your hands in front of you, probably a little more than like one hand distance forward. And then I want you to come forward with your hips as well. So we're doing like a plank, but on our knees. And you're coming into that same pelvic tilt. Obviously, class today is a lot about pelvic tilts. Coming in that same pelvic tilt, that posterior. So you're drawing your heels, sorry, your tailbone towards your heels. You're engaging the abdominals. You're pulling them up towards the spine. And then you're going to bring your big toes together, sit your hips back, come rest in a little child's pose. You can take your knees a little wider if that feels good. Let your head drop. Use any props that you want to use, whether you lay on a bolster, put your head on a block if the floor feels too far away. Good. Go ahead and walk your hands over to the right. Really reach for that left arm. Nice side body stretch on the left side. And bring it back to center. Go to the other side. Walk the hands over to the left. Big side body stretch now on the right side. Awesome. Bring it back to center. From here, just make your way up to stand. So however you do that most easily, you're going to come all the way up to stand. We're going to come to the front of the mat. So if you want to grab some water, grab some water. I always like to give a water break when we transition up to standing. Beautiful. All right. Good. All right. So we're going to just do some half sun salutations here. Look down, make sure your feet are hip distance apart. Toes are pointing forward, not out to the side. As you inhale, reach those arms nice and high. Exhale, fold from the hip crease. Drop it down, let the head drop. You're going to feel that pretty big, deep stretch in the hamstrings. As you inhale, place your hands on your legs, look forward with a nice neutral spine. And then there you go, yep. And then as you exhale, drop the head again. And then as you inhale, reverse swan dive. So the arms reach out to the side, you lift up with a nice flat back. And then arms reach all the way up. And then exhale to the heart. Good, we're gonna do a couple more just like that, a little faster. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Drop the head. As you inhale, half lift. That's what that's called. So you're looking forward, nice neutral spine. Exhale, fold, drop the head again. Inhale, reverse swan dive, arms out to the side, then all the way up above the head. Exhale, take it back to the heart. Lovely. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach it out and up. Take it back to the heart. One more exactly like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Inhale, rise and shine all the way up. And exhale back to the heart. Very nice. Standing half moon. Inhale, reach up, grab your left wrist, reach over to the right. Like you're a standing crescent moon here. Good. Bring it all the way back up to center. Grab the right wrist. Go to the other side. Yep, you got it. Remember, if it's too much stretch, just bring those arms in front of you a little bit. It's going to take some of that stretch away. Yeah, very good. And then inhale, bring it all the way back up. Exhale, forward fold, drop it down. Inhale, halfway lift, nice neutral spine. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Good. Inhale, reverse swan dive, reach it up. Exhale, take it to the heart. We're going to step back with our left foot, warrior one pose. So right foot stays forward, left foot steps back. Bend the right knee. Okay, so if you want this more challenging, remember you can make your stance a little wider by bringing your left foot back more, by bending your right knee more. Okay? Arms can be at heart, they can be hips. You can reach them out to the side. If you want to do full expression of warrior one, your arms are up in the air. You're breathing. Maybe find that Ujjayi breath as we hold this for a moment. Very good. Take the hands down and step forward. Tadasana pose. Let the arms rest by your sides, palms facing forward. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Let that head drop. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let the head drop. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Reach it all the way back up. Exhale, take it to the heart. Awesome. Left leg stays forward this time. Step it back, warrior one. Right leg comes back. Good. So just that transition of stepping the leg back, it's a little challenging on the balance, right? If you want your right foot to come back a little bit further, you can. It's going to deepen the stretch. It's going to make the challenge a little higher. And then you're going to bend into that left knee a little bit more. Okay. You can do whatever you want with your arms, right? You can keep them at heart. Take them to the hips. Reach them out to the side. You can lift it up into the air. Good. Really focus on breath, Ujjayi breath. Also focus on pressing down into the feet so that you can let the chest lift up any amount higher. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Very nice. Let those arms come down. Step it forward. Tadasana, mountain pose. Arms down by your sides, palms forward. Feet hip distance apart. Maybe close your eyes. Just notice how the balance changes, even though both feet are on the ground. Let the eyes open if that felt a little easy and you want more challenge. Bring your feet closer together. Maybe there's just like a fist distance between them. Hands by your side, close your eyes again. Find the steadiness in your breath, strength in your body. Right. If that felt easy, open your eyes. Bring your feet all the way together. And then try closing your eyes again. So your feet can be in 1 to 3 positions together, fist distance apart, hip distance apart. The closer they get, the harder it is to balance when those eyes are closed. Find you'll wobble a little bit. That's okay. You're training all those small muscles called intrinsic muscles to be stronger. Very good. Let the eyes open back up. Reach your arms straight out in front of you, shoulder height. And then you're going to come back into your chair pose. So when you're in chair pose, I want you to think of that pelvic tilt. Okay. So tailbone is down. Think of a posterior pelvic tilt. Lower abdominals engaged, tailbone is down like a third leg. Weight is in the heels. Got it. Engage the belly, lift the chest a little more. Maybe you sink your hips back a little more. Maybe you don't. Love it, ladies. Inhale, reach it all the way back up. Arms above the head. Grab that left wrist one more time, reach it over to the right. Switch sides, grab the right wrist, reach it over to the left. Good. Beautiful. Inhale, bring it all the way back up. Take the hands down, Tadasana, mountain pose. So you can keep the direction that you are. I'm turning just so you can see my demonstration a little bit better. So from this mountain pose, you feel really nice and strong. You're going to stand on that right leg. Hands can come to your hips. Some people find it easier to balance with your arms out like a T, totally up to you. You're going to come up onto the tippy toes of your left foot. Okay. So us women, I say this a lot. We like to hang out in that hip, squeeze it in, right? Squeeze it in. Push the right foot down a lot. Maybe you flex that left foot. Maybe you hover the foot. Maybe you bring the knee up a little bit more, right? If you want to do something different with your arms, do something different. You can have them at heart. You can reach them above your head. You can reach them out to the side. It's up to you. Abs are engaged, pelvic floor is engaged, right foot pushes down a lot. Beautiful. Yeah, very nice. Bring it all the way back down. Okay to be a little wobbly. Good. All right. Same thing, other side, right? So hands here, here. Totally up to you. All right. You're going to step down a lot through the left leg, tremendously. Okay. Don't hang out in the hip, push it in. And then you're just going to start coming to those right tippy toes. Right? Remember, one side's easier to balance on than the other. Find the drishti, your focal point. Find the breath, ujjayi. Maybe you flex the foot and you float it just above the floor. Maybe you lift the knee up a little bit higher, so you're engaging the hip flexor, you're engaging the abdominals. Balance is a little bit more tricky. You can change the position of your arms if you like. This is a lot of options, lots of freedom in this position. But your standing leg is grounded, it's strong, like a big, tall, 200-year-old oak tree. Awesome. Slowly bring yourself all the way back. Love it. Very nice. All right. So back to that sun salutation here. Inhale, reach those arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, nice flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit looser than that first forward fold we did. Inhale, rise and shine. Reach those arms all the way back up. Exhale, take it to the heart. Very nice. Step it back, warrior one with the left foot. Right foot is forward, knee is bent. You might stay in warrior one. Okay. Next option is to come to high lunge, right? So warrior one, my left heel is down. High lunge, my left heel is up. That's the difference. My right knee is still bent, right? Lots of options for the arms, but press down a lot through the feet. Press back a lot through the left leg. Doesn't matter which position you're in, warrior one or lunge, that left leg pushes back, 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 back. Very good. Go ahead and little transition here. You're going to drop your left knee down. Little challenge on balance. If it doesn't feel good on the knee, like double up your mat, roll your mat up or put a blanket underneath it. Your left hand is going to come down onto the floor. And you're going to take your right hand on top of your thigh. Just give yourself a little gentle twist here. If you want to reach your right arm up towards the ceiling, you can. Very nice. Slowly untwist. Take your hands to each side of your right foot. Tuck your left toes and slowly make your way into a low lunge. Hands are on the floor or on blocks. Left leg is straight. And then you're just going to hop that foot forward and come into a forward fold. Let the head drop. A little bit of a crazy transitions there. Good. Inhale, rise and shine. Arms above the head. Exhale, bring it back to the heart. We're just doing it again, other side. Step back with the right foot, warrior one. Good. So remember, if you want to stay in warrior one, you can do that transition that we're going to do in a moment from this position. If you want to come into your high lunge, you're lifting that right heel up, so it's no longer on the floor. And regardless of which position you chose, you're pushing back a lot through that right leg. Right? If you're in a high lunge here, push that right heel back. Try to straighten the knee, push the knee back, engage the front of the quad here. Very nice. Go ahead and take your knee down. Right knee comes down. Good. You can untuck that toe if you like. Right hand comes to the floor. Left hand's going to come to the top of the thigh. And you just start with a really gentle little twist here. If you want to deepen that twist, then you start to lift that left arm up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Take both hands down onto the floor. You might be on your fingertips, you might be on blocks or books. And then you're just going to straighten that right leg if you can. Little low lunge here. Beautiful. Bring that right knee back down. Bring the left foot back. Come into a child's pose. Take a sigh or two sighs if you want. Beautiful. All the way up. The only reason you're coming up right now is actually so you can transition onto your back. So if you like to get to your back a different way that's a little easier, go for it. Lovely. So once you're on your back, we're just going to do one pigeon pose on each side and then come in into your Shavasana. So we'll start stretching the right hip. So right ankle's coming over the left knee here. You want to flex that right foot. You can keep your left foot on the floor, or you can grab behind that left thigh and bring the knees in towards the chest a little bit. So supine pigeon. Some people like to rock a little bit when they're in pigeon on their back. I like to rock personally just until I find where like my ideal stretches. And then I like to keep it there and just focus on breathing really slow and really deep, drawing my knees a little closer in every exhale. Good. Slowly release out of that. And of course, bringing it on over to the other side. So left ankle over the right knee. You want to flex that left foot. You can keep the right foot on the floor. Or if you want to deepen the stretch, grabbing behind that right thigh, bring the knees in. You can rock a little if you want, or you can stay static. You can rock until you find where that really good stretch is and then just kind of hold it there. Full release out of that. And then come to your Shavasana. So your final relaxation pose. I like to give a couple options for this, right? Sometimes if your low back is bothering you, you can Bring your feet wide as your mat, and let your knees rest together. It's actually called constructive rest pose. And that can be something that can just kind of widen the space in the low back for you. Um, some people like to do their shavasana in supine Baddha Konasana, so reclined bound angle where the soles of the feet are together, the knees are wide. And then some people like to do traditional shavasana. The legs are straight, arms are by your side, palms up, and you just let go. You just relax here. The time for you to maybe deepen your breath. Focus again on the inhalation and the exhalation that go in and out of the body. And one of the reasons we take Shavasana at the end of a yoga class, I was fascinated when I learned about this in my training, is that when you're doing all these different poses and all these different positions and you're moving your body in different ways, you're stimulating a lot of areas, not only of the muscular system, but of the nervous system. And you're moving energy through the body, through the nerves, through the muscles, through the blood, and you're clearing pathways. You're opening blockages so that energy can flow freely. And on top of that, you're breathing different ways. So part of the purpose of Shavasana is to allow all of that opening and all of those changes to seal. And let yourself ground back down. Sometimes Shavasana can just feel so lovely that you want to stay in it for more than just a couple minutes. That's the beauty of virtual yoga. You can do that. If you don't want to get up right now, rest and stay. Ignore the rest of what I say. If you do want to kind of come back, wiggle your fingers and toes. If your knees aren't already bent, the knees bend. Roll onto your side. Slowly let yourself roll all the way back up so that you're sitting comfortably. Very good. I love seeing you both today. You guys are awesome. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, peaceful intentions. Namaste and love. You guys are awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome.